Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. Let's go ahead and log in. We defeated Nidhogg last time. Let's take a look at the aftermath of that and what lies ahead for the Warrior of Light. Alright, let us speak to Alphino over here. Through the haze of pain, I swear I sensed. But no, the past is done and we must look to the future. At long last, Nidhogg is gone, his foul spirit cast out once and for all. I only pray that Estinien survives the ordeal. Your battle with Nidhogg's shade will beget many an epic ballad, Prince, and rightly so. It was without a doubt one of your more epochal victories, though I must admit I took greater joy seeing you emerge from the experience unscathed. And not only for your own sake, had you not been there to aid me, those infernal eyes would still be fused to Estinien's mail. Yet, even with Nidhogg gone, I cannot help but wonder how much of our friend remains. Let us pay a visit to Lucia and beg news of his condition. Alright, so that is going to bring us back over here. Prince, Master Alphino, my honored friends, as if winning Hraesvelgr to our cause weren't enough, you took it upon yourselves to rid us of his brood brother. I know not how to thank you. My own contribution was hardly noteworthy. The true saviors of the day were Prince and Estinien. One triumphed over Nidhogg's shade through strength of arms, and the other through strength of will. And speaking of Estinien, what news of his recovery? The Azure Dragoon was conveyed to the infirmary, where he now resides under the care of our hospitalier captain. I am told he has yet to regain consciousness. But as you know, Estinien's mind and body were held hostage for many days. We must be patient and allow the process of healing to begin. In the meantime, you would do well to rest and recover from your own ordeals. But surely Sir Emmerich is never long from Estinien's bedside, and I will send word the moment there are any developments. Now, if I have satisfied your concerns, I believe Lord Edmont and his sons are most eager to celebrate your return. Very well, First Commander. Come, Prince. 'Twould seem we are awaited at Fort Tom's Manor. Alright, let us hit the Aetheryte Shard and make our way up to the last vigil. Let's head inside.
The heroes of the hour return.
We but did our duty, my lord. It was the memories of fallen friends and not our heroism which saw us through at the last.
I gave every ounce of my strength, but mine efforts would have counted for naught had the Warrior of Light not arrived to challenge the Great Worm. As a sworn knight of Ishgard, I had hoped to do more for my city.
Well, we cannot all be heroes, dear brother.
let us put away our pride for a moment and revel in the valiant deeds of our comrade. For your sterling service to Ishgard, we salute you. And while we're on the subject of valiant deeds, I believe I myself have earned some small measure of recognition. Under my watchful command, the ballistas of the Outer Ward struck down a veritable swarm of Dravanian invaders.
My lord's command was certainly watchful. He bravely watched as the siege crews took aim, and continued to watch as countless wyverns met their end. Indeed, the ward's defenders proved so well drilled that my lord had little occasion to stop watching.
There will be time enough to determine who is most deserving of recognition later. Our friends are doubtless weary from their exertions. I had chambers prepared in expectation of your return. You are welcome to retire at your leisure.
I am most grateful for your hospitality, my lord, but I believe I shall pay a visit to the Temple Knight's Infirmary. Pray excuse me.
Our master Alphino has grown. The plight of his stricken brother-in-arms pains him more than his own hurts. In which respect he has come to resemble you, warrior of light. Go then, visit the Azure Dragoon, and grant him what comfort you may.
Alright, let's make our way back down. Down to the Forgotten Knight. There, Sir Emmerich. Prince, my friend, what can I do for the savior of Ishgard? You seek Master Alphino? Ah, he came to relieve me of my vigil a short while ago. When he begged to sit at Estinien's side, I could not well refuse him. Though he would sooner faint than admit it, the boy must be exhausted by Hreisvolger's trial, and all that followed. Estinien is blessed to have such devoted comrades. My own friendship with Estinien began some 10 years past, shortly after we joined the Temple Knights. I learned his name soon enough, but Estinien barely registered my existence. I was less a fellow recruit and more a shadow which occasionally darkened his path. And so I might have remained, had fate not seen fit to intervene. While out on patrol, our company was set upon by a dragon, and we were the only two to survive. The experience forged a bond between us, as such life-threatening situations are wont to do. Despite our friendship, he remained an intense and solitary youth, wholly obsessed with claiming vengeance against Nidhogg. Revenge was ever at the forefront of his mind. Revenge for the death of his parents. Revenge for his younger brother. I would venture that in Alphino he sees something of his lost sibling. And in the ungentle chidings of Estinien, Alphino has found the elder brother he never had. Truth be told, Estinien's tactless observations have saved me from disaster more than once, and I can well understand Alphino's affection for him. He is a friend for whom I would gladly... Lord Commander, your presence is required in the infirmary. Is he... Tell them I am on my way. Alright, let's speak to Sir Emmerich one more time. Quickly, Prince, we must go to him. Upon proceeding to the infirmary, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. And that is why I decided to hold off on these until today. Let us proceed.
Estinien!
Cease your mewling, boy. It grates my ears.
Forgive me. When I saw you awaken, I could not... It was such a relief. We feared you might never wake up.
Now, Estinien. If Master Alphino thought any less of you, you would still be Nidhogg's plaything. Or dead. Aye, 'twas but a jest. I thank you, Alphino. And you too, Warrior of Light. Quite how you managed to persuade Hraesvogr to aid in his brood brother's downfall I cannot imagine. But full glad am I that you did. Yet again, you have achieved the impossible. I, for my part, owe you an apology. When last we met, I did willingly loose an arrow at your heart. Can you forgive me? There is naught to forgive, Emmerich. You but acted in defense of Ishgard, as is your duty. Were you any less single-minded about it, I would not follow you into battle, nor trust you at my back. Besides, I had come to the selfsame conclusion, that I would have to perish for Nidhogg to be stopped. So let us dispense with the hand-wringing. I have heard enough mewling for one day.
Oh!
The tendrils of Nidhogg's foul presence bound up every fiber of my being, usurping my senses, but I yet retained some trace of awareness. The worm's mind was as a vast and tumultuous sea. Endlessly its black waters churned, his grief and despair at Ratatoska's murder never calming, never receding. Driven by this surging current came wave upon wave of unrelenting rancor. It was the very image of my own heart. There I saw the dark reflection of the hatred I felt after Nidhogg slew my family, when no path remained save vengeance against dragonkind. Neither one of us had a choice. But I was blessed with something Nidhogg was not. Comrades and teachers to console and admonish me. Had I not had them to gainsay my obsession, it would surely have consumed me as Nidhogg's did him, and we would have been in all respects alike. Though his shade is banished, his spirit scattered upon the sea of clouds, I feel no joy at his passing. Where once I craved vengeance, I now crave rest. Lord Commander, my hunt is at an end. I would lay down the mantle of Azure Dragoon.
My friend.
He has tired himself with too many words. I doubt not that he will make a full recovery, but he must be allowed some few days of quiet.
I too must see my path to its end. Sleep well, my friend.
Following the battle with Nidhogg on the Steps of Faith, Sir Emeric called an assembly that he might make his final proclamation as acting head of state. 'Twas there, with one decree, that the 1,000-year rule of the archbishops was ended, paving the way for a new republic. The governance of Ishgard would now be placed in the hands of high and lowborn alike, their ranks represented by the newly founded House of Lords and House of Commons. Church was separated from state. The foundation for change had been carefully laid, and the reforms proposed by Ishgard's new government passed into law without incident. His duty done, Emeric de Burrell gladly stepped down from the Archbishop's dais, only to be raised unto the highest seat in the House of Lords. Though he strove at first to refuse this honor, the unexpectedly strident voice of the Count de Durandare left him little choice but to accept. And so it was that the winds of gentle revolution came to stir. Prominent among the many honored guests at Sir Emeric's investiture were the ambassadors of Dragonkind, a fitting symbol of Ishgard's newfound peace. The people looked on in awe as he soared through the heavens on Dragonback. And by their cheers did they hail him an Azure Dragoon for a new age. Thus were the notes of the dragon song rewritten, the din of war giving way to a rising litany of peace and hope.
From the memoirs of Count Edmond de Fortamps, Heavensward. Alright, let us speak to Sir Emmerich. I was gazing out at the sea of clouds, in an all too rare moment of idleness, when I chanced to behold a certain hero wending his way towards the city on Dragonback. Welcome home, Prince. Nay, 'twas no grave matter that moved me to greet you in person. Between you and me, I merely sought respite from the pressures of office. No sooner do I surrender my role as temporary head of state than I am burdened with a position of more permanent responsibility. I fancy that it echoes in some small measure the way you must feel when your improbable feats of heroism are rewarded with still more impossible challenges. The myth which guided our society for generations lies in tatters. Am I then to be scorned for building upon the system of nobility that I once sought to tear down? And what strange jest is this that places me at its pinnacle, an archbishop's bastard at the head of the House of Lords? Ah, but these questions are for me to answer. It is not in man's nature to change overnight. This I learned through painful experience, and it was this hard lesson which convinced me to take the path which we now follow. Even as we rebuild the bridge between man and dragon, so must we reimagine Ishgard, one carefully placed stone at a time. We must remember that it is not for us that we lay this groundwork, but for the men and women that our children will become. May their towers rise proudly from the fundament of our legacy. I hear word from Captain Whitecape that Estinien has vanished from his sick room. His willfulness survives undiminished. Should you ever happen upon our unmannerly friend on your travels, pray assure him that I shall keep Ishgard safe until he deigns to come home. Thank you, Prince. And please, convey my warmest regards to Master Alphino. Alright, let us make our way over to Fortomp's Manor. And let's speak to Alphino. You spoke with Sir Emmerich. I do not envy him his new position. Ishgard has chosen a new road, but one littered with the detritus of 1,000 years of broken faith. Yet though her people may stumble from time to time, I know of none better than Sir Emmerich to lead the march of progress. As for us, there remains the small matter of ushering in a new dawn in the shadow of unscrutable Ascian machinations and a seemingly endless procession of primals. But we too must walk our chosen path, no matter how treacherous the footing. In the wake of Ishgard's governmental reform, new airship routes have been sanctioned. You may now travel to a selection of distant locales from the landing in Ishgard. Thank you, Blanhars. Nay, you need not remain there. We shall rendezvous at the usual place. All is proceeding as expected, then? Aye, there is naught to concern us, aside from one overly curious mouse. This way! Him again. It is of no moment. They will play their part, and we will play ours. And thus did grey mist give way to azure skies. Man and dragon rise above, voices joined in song, but beneath shrouded boughs, beyond the scope of light, shadow stirs. Patch 3.3 is finished. Let's make our way on to patch 3.4 now. Master Brightstar, you are come at a most excellent time. An invitation from a truly preeminent personage was delivered to the manor but a short while ago. Would that you had been present to receive it, but in any event. Sir Emmerich de Borel, Lord Speaker of the House of Lords, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, and Viscount of House Borel, cordially invites Master Brightstar to dine with him at his estate. You seem surprised. The messenger assured me that his lord had broached the subject with you at an earlier date, when the arrangements for the peace conference were still being finalized. Of course, the intervening moons afforded little opportunity for leisure, but with the happy advent of peace, 'tis plain the Lord Commander sees no further cause to delay. What say you? I would, but I haven't the foggiest what to wear. Any thoughts? You would ask me? Well, I am sure that, as a personal friend of Sir Emmerich, you are at liberty to wear whatever you deem appropriate. That said, when in doubt, a man of note could do far worse than an alpine coat. At least, that is what Lord Emmanuel had been heard to say. When you are ready, pray report to the Astrologicum. A man of House Borel shall be waiting near there to escort you the rest of the way. Alright, so let us hit up the Aethernet shard. Question is, do we actually have anything appropriate to wear? Unfortunately, all this is just adventuring gear. Greetings and well met, Master Brightstar. I have the honor and the privilege to serve as head steward of House Borel, though admittedly our staff is somewhat smaller than those of other noble families, being countable on one hand. My lord will be overjoyed to hear that you have accepted his invitation. As you will soon see, we have spared no expense. I dare say a man of action such as yourself enjoys nary a moment's respite. Aye, the battlefield beckons even now, I am sure. But for this day, we bid you lay down your burdens and raise a glass to peace and prosperity.
To think the Moogles would prove such harsh taskmasters. Forgive me. I did not know you had suffered so in your quest for the horn. I must say, your spirited accounts always come as a welcome change from the arid reports which fill my days. Though I have lived in these lands my entire life, to hear you speak of them, there is much and more I have yet to see. Truly, yours was a marvelous journey.
Why not join me on the next?
Well, truth be told, when I think back on the sweeping vistas of the churning mists, I do feel some slight pangs of wanderlust. Alas, much as I would like to accept your invitation, I fear my present duties with the House of Lords demand my undivided attention. Someday, perhaps. By your deeds, you have helped us to lay the foundation for lasting reform. The formation of the Republic is but the beginning, for it is not only our system of governance which must needs change. We, the people, must learn to let go of our hatreds and rise above our bloody past. I only pray that I live long enough to see us achieve some measure of success, that I might know the lost did not die in vain. I can still see you there on the steps of faith, striding fearlessly towards the worm. If you could do that, who are we to balk at the challenges ahead? The question of how best to strengthen ties with the other great nations of Eorzea has been debated at length in the Lords and Commons of late. As you may imagine, maintaining stability during this period of historic upheaval is our paramount concern. Nevertheless, we are greatly indebted to the Alliance for their support during the Grand Melee, and it would be remiss of us not to repay their faith in kind. Of course, we owe you the greatest debt of all, and it is my hope that in extending our support to you and the Scions, we might also express our gratitude to our neighbors, nay, our fellow Eorzeans, whom we pray you will continue to protect. The Lords and Commons agree on very little, but not a soul in either house begrudges your order this offer of patronage. For all you have done and will do, we thank you. May I ask a personal question? Now that the dust has settled, what will you do? Not as a scion, I mean, but what do you want for yourself?
Lord Commander, pray forgive the interruption.
News from House Fulton?
An urgent message for the Warrior of Light. I was instructed to deliver it without delay. Master Thancred returned to the manor a short time ago, bearing an injured maiden. Master Leveilleur and Mistress Tataru are tending to her wounds, but they like not her chances. Respectfully, my lord, they have requested the Warrior of Light's immediate presence.
You must go to them, my friend, and I shall go with you.
For every ending marks a new beginning. From tragedy and sacrifice, we rise to greet a new dawn, as did he. Only to be drawn unto another battlefield, another cause, as if by fate.
Alright, let's head inside.
Yes.
Is that
Alisaie.
Alisaie, Alphinaud's twin sister? She ran afoul of the Warriors of Darkness. I had been tracking them since the ceremony at Falcon's Nest. Little did I know I was not the only one. Evidently, she had learned of their activities and attempted to shadow them on her own. Poorly. I rescued her in the Twelveswood, and together we fled north. But though I made every effort to cover our tracks, they caught up with us on the Ishgardian border. And in the ensuing struggle, Alisaie took an arrow to the shoulder. It was only after we had made good our escape that I realized it was poisoned.
Thank you for coming so quickly. And you, Sir Emmerich.
Think nothing of it. How is she?
We have done all we can for now. Although the immediate danger has passed, the poison yet lingers in her blood. We came to Eorzea together, hoping to bring salvation to the realm our grandfather gave his life to protect. But when confronted with the bitter realities of its politics and its petty powermongers, she was driven to anger and to doubt. She refused to become embroiled in what she termed Eorzea's squabbles and distance herself from the Scions. Though she remained hopeful of a brighter future, she would walk her own path. Would that it had not been so perilous. For all our differences, she's as dedicated as any Scion to the salvation of Eorzea. But more than that, she is my sister. To be reunited with her, only to lose her forever. Gods, even to speak the words.
Take heart, Master Alphinaud. She will be attended by our most skilled chirurgeons. Bear Mistress Leveilleur to the infirmary at once. Apprise Captain Whitecape of the situation, and inform him that she is to be treated as my personal charge.
Wait, don't go. Please, come closer. The Warriors of Darkness are in league with the Ascients. Slaughtering the Primals is but the first step in their plan. They make for Zelvatol to bring about Garuda's summoning and to kill her. You must stop them.
I shall inform the others at once.
Master Thancred, I would ask that you accompany Mistress Leveilleur to the infirmary. Your knowledge of her injuries may well prove useful in determining her treatment.
Of course.
Alright, let's speak to Alpha No. Surely they won't let her... Yes, I know. We must trust in Captain Whitecape and his Chirurgians. Did they not bring Estinien back from the very brink of death? I am uncomfortably reminded of how he mocked me for praying at his bedside for days on end. What say you, my friend? Shall we turn our attention to a matter whose conclusion we yet have the power to influence? Alright, let's see what we've got here. I would say let's go for these scrambled eggs. So the Warriors of Darkness and the Ascians are conspiring to bring about Garuda's summoning, that they might put her to the sword. Then when we first encountered them in Loth Astnath, when they were confronting Ravana, gods, has this been their aim all along? What do you intend to do, Master Alphino? There is much and more I do not understand, but I know this: a primal summoning cannot be ignored. Alizé risked her life to uncover this plot, and we squander her gift at our peril. Prince, will you accompany me to Zelfatol and help me stop the Exal's ritual? Given that Ishgard shares a border with the Exali homeland, we have a vested interest in the outcome of this ritual. We have been willing to suffer the Beastmen's intrusions into Korthan lands to a point, but the summoning of a primal is an escalation we cannot abide. You shall have our fastest airship, Master Alphino. The mountains of Zelfatol are not easily traversed, and this endeavor demands all haste. The gesture is most appreciated, Sir Emmerich, but I fear an aerial approach is destined to fail. This is their homeland, after all, and Exali dirigibles are not to be underestimated. No, experience tells me the only conceivable approach is by land. I believe it would be wiser to cross into Zelfatol by way of the mountain pass east of Camp Dragonhead. In that case, I shall send instructions for a contingent of the camp's knights to be placed at your disposal. They will secure you safe passage through the mountains and escort you thence to Zelfatol. Though my men are unqualified to confront a primal, they are more than capable of contending with the Exal. We should be glad of their assistance, Lord Edmond. In the event Mistress Alizé regains consciousness, we will share with you any additional information she may provide. May the Fury watch over and keep you safe. Then let us be off. We can procure any additional supplies we require in Camp Dragonhead. Alright, let us make our way to Camp Dragonhead. And before we do anything else, let's just do a quick repair here. There we go. Have you everything you require then? Excellent. The entrance to the pass is north of Nadalan, and due east of Camp Dragonhead. Though it is normally guarded by a score of Ixali warriors, I have been informed that House Fortom's knights have already dispatched them. The enemy gate lies open. We need but walk through. Well, before we walk through, we have some mail here. Let's see what it is. And it appears to be related to, once again, getting certain subscription things here. So, looks like we've got a wind-up goblin here. If I bring him out... Let's see, right here. Seems like a cutie there. Alright. And then we also have a goblin cap, which is right here. Although I'm not actually showing my my hat, so here we go. We can just do that there, and I'm wearing one of their masks now. Simple as that. Funny thing, if you didn't know, they actually have little fragrances inside of here that helps them to deal with different smells and such. Anyway, let's get our recommended gear back on. I don't know why you keep recommending that, when that is higher level. Alright, let's make our way to Zelfatol. Here we are. Master Brightstar, Master Alphano, as you can see, the gate is ours. Be advised that our scouts are reporting increased activity around the first mountain. Simply put, they are up to something, and don't want anyone interfering. We stand ready to escort you to Zelfatol and aid you as you see fit. Given the numbers we are like to encounter, a two-pronged approach may be best. While the knights and I feign a larger attack to draw the Ixal's attention, I suggest you and yours attempt to slip past their defenses and locate the site of the summoning ritual. If the gods are good, you should only have to deal with some few patrols, but if they are not, you may be forced to do battle with the Warriors of Darkness. Alright, Zelfatol is now accessible. Let us queue up in the Duty Finder. And there we go. I'm gonna have these eggs. Oh, can't, well, this is going here, actually, so I'll have them once we're inside. Alrighty, let's have those eggs and let's get this going. Now I'm hoping, even though my gear is not at max eye level, I'll be able to pull this move off here. Which is basically pull everything up to the gate. looks like that went pretty well here, actually. Just a lot of AoE going out from them. And look at that, our healer is even throwing out some gravity arrows, so this is going to be real smooth here, I think. There we go. It's this pull that's going to be a little trickier on that respect. Watch for falling rocks. That's typically one of the better places to pop hollowed ground there, just so that, once again, your healer can just start to DPS away. And here we are at the first boss. Alright, now this guy does some pretty unique things here. Specifically, at points, he's going to head up into the air. And we've got to do kind of a bit of a dance here to get up there and basically knock them out of the air. You'll see what I mean in just a moment here. Alright, here we go. So we got some ads coming in. Get on the floating turret now. And now basically anybody that's standing underneath the balloon when that goes off knocks the boss to the ground. And only one player has to do it. Alright, he's got these air stones now. That monk is actually keeping up with me pretty well on Enmity. I may not be able to do too much in terms of Royal Authority. Alright, that's a belt of aiming. That's not going to do much for us. Alright, here's another pull where I'll be able to just grab these guys and just keep moving. I do always pause for just a second just to make sure that I do also get my flash off at the same time before moving on to the next group. Just because it is actually possible to outrange the enemies as you're trying to do that there. Although who knows how things are going to change once 4.0 comes out. I know the embargo just lifted today on the information, but I have yet to actually review any of that in terms of how frequently one would be able to use that new weapon AoE attack instead of just using flash. Alright, let's make our way up these steps here. Once again, another group here. I am just going to pull along to the next station. Yeah, we got that fake color over there. There isn't too much I can really do to bring him to these guys. I suppose I could have brought the group to him instead. But as long as he's focused on me and not the other party member, it should be okay. Alright, he just switched, so I'm provoking. There we go. Let's check out these treasure coffers. Once again, aiming, so not going to do much for us. That's not really... we're not really getting any gear in here so far. I was hoping to get a new chest piece in here, actually. And then I would be able to put these tomestones of lore towards some new gloves, and then I would definitely be at the 230 that I need for what is effectively the next and last dungeon that we're going to head into. But we're not going to be headed there today. I would say probably next time or the time after, but it's really going to be a question of how quickly we get through patch 3.4. There's a trial coming up that, once again, we're not going to get to that today, but it takes a while to get through through that trial, and then... Ooh, what happened there? Clemency. It's going to take a while to get through that particular trial, and then the story after actually goes quite a bit into kind of the lore and basically what the world of Hydaelyn is in context to the rest of the game. So that takes a while to explain and understand, but we'll get there when we get there. So this should be the next boss coming up here. And this guy, basically you always want to have your back against the wall here. Around the outer ring here is basically going to fill with spikes. And the inner ring is basically where you need to stay. So I'm basically just going to grab him over to here. And this is where I'm going to park myself for the fight. Now that on-low attack there, that is basically what I need to concern myself throughout the fight here. There is going to be a specific attack or specific ability that he uses that I need to watch for, and then once he does that, that's then going to dictate kind of when I need to move out of the way of that attack. So there's another regular on-low. This is also going to be my first time trying this fight. On the new connection, or on the new server location that they moved just a few weeks back, so it'll be interesting to see if I'm actually able to pull this off. There it is, Swift Feather. Alright, so not that time, but I feel like I will be able to do it. I just need to adjust slightly here. I know for a fact that I am physically farther away than they used to be. Another on low. Actually, this guy may be down before he gets a chance to do it again. Okay, there's Swift Feather. Yeah, there was too much delay on that one. But basically what you can do is essentially at the right moment move out of the way, and that would then allow you to essentially avoid all the damage from that attack. Let's see, this is slightly worse than what I've got currently, so I'm just going to greed on that. Alright, this balloon coming in, and others like it, those need to go down first in order to make sure that we're not going to have any extra spawns, or more extra spawns than we're already going to get here. Alright, good. So the team knows to take care of that. I wish this healer was going to keep up with me here. There we go. I do appreciate it when a healer does do DPS, but I also respect that they need to also do their main job, which is healing. I would rather see a fight go on slightly longer if it means that the party survives and takes out a target, rather than having a healer DPS and basically something goes wrong and the team wipes. Alright, now there's another one over there. Looks like somebody tried to use the limit break there, but that really wasn't a good time to use it, because all the enemies were still in transit there, over to the new position. Alright, one more pull and then we'll be on to the final boss. Item level is probably playing a factor in the fact that the monk is basically keeping up with me so well here on Amity. I would expect these guys are probably in 260, 270 gear. Alright, let's get this going. Alright, we gotta spread out for this. cast a line AoE there. Alright, once again, just like with Nidhogg, we all need to stand together. Alright, and they are summoning Garuda. Garuda in this particular form is not attackable. Alright, that was not very lucky there in terms of which way they were facing there. So everybody kind of took a hit there. But yeah, Garuda just sticks around for a few seconds and then leaves. Alright, Saka. And that's pretty much the fight. They're going to summon Garuda one more time, and footwork is going to get even more complicated. As you can see, there's just this small donut shape here that we can use to stand inside. And down goes the final boss. And it doesn't look like I got any new gear in here. Oh well.
Thank the gods! What happened? So they were unable to see the ritual to its completion. Then Garuda is no longer a threat, and whatever the Ascians and the Warriors of Darkness were planning has come to naught. But we should not tarry. The knights have secured our path to safety.
Well, well. What do we have here? You'd better not have killed the Primal without us.
A new face.
You!
Wait, I know you. Still walking, I see. I could have sworn my aim was true.
Just what is your game? Leading us the long way so these fools could step in and claim our prize?
No. Let's not make hasty accusations. By the look of things, the ritual was proceeding as planned. We arrived at the appointed hour. 'Twas they who erred.
It is hopeless. We cannot face them all.
Do mine ears deceive? A boy! So that's the way of it. Twins! You had me worried for a moment there. Know that I will happily make it quicker for you, if you just stand still.
Enough, Jarumu.
We wouldn't want to upset the man in white with any unnecessary bloodshed now, would we? You've been awfully busy since we were kind enough to spare your lives.
While you were idly consorting with the Ascians, you mean? 7 hells! What could you possibly hope to achieve?
Should I explain it to you? Very well. Consider it a reward of sorts for beating us here. You know the tale of Hydaelyn and Zodiac, I take it? Of the Great Sundering and the reflections it created?
Across 10 and 3 they were divided. Reflections of the source, each possessed of shards of light and dark.
Just so. One of those reflections, the one nearest to the source, is our home. And we were the heroes blessed with her light. But not all worlds hold light and dark in equal measure. In ours, the power of light was greater by far. So the Ascians, who once threatened our home, were no match. And they fell before us, one after another, till none were left. Victory, we thought. And then came the light. A flood of pure, blinding radiance, annihilating shadow and color and life itself. Ere long, it will consume our world, leaving naught in its wake but blank perfection.
That cannot be. Do you honestly expect us to believe such a story?
Believe what you like. But it has happened before, on a world far removed from ours. The 13th, which was swallowed by the dark and transformed into what you call the Void. Unchallenged light would condemn us to a similar fate. And so we joined hands with our former enemies, and with their aid came here, to the source. For there is but one way to restore the balance and save our home. The Ardor. Calamitous destruction with the power to break down the barriers between planes and see our worlds rejoined.
You would doom our world to save your own? What would even become of us? Of you?
Enough. I tire of talking. You know our cause. You know what is at stake. We are prepared to do whatever it takes. Are you?
If there is aught you would say, say it. Otherwise, begone. You have no friends here.
Alright. A bit of an unexpected encounter, especially with what they were talking about. I thought we weren't going to get to any of that today, but apparently they are already speaking about it. Not the big one that I'm referring to, though. All things considered, we should be grateful to have survived that encounter. Do you think it could be true? That to save their world they must bring ruin to ours? No, it matters not. Such wanton destruction is beyond justification. Whatever their reasons, they must be stopped. The sacrifice, the loss, it ends here. Forgive me, this is neither the time nor place for idle introspection. The knights can apprise Lord Edmont of our success, and we the Lord Commander. More importantly, I should like to see if my sister's condition has improved. You may take a moment for yourself if you wish. I will be at the congregation. Alright, then let us make our way over to the congregation ourselves. It brings me joy to see you safely return to us, Prince. What news from Zelf Atoll? Then we were not too late. On behalf of Ishgard, I offer you my deepest thanks. As for we who remained behind, Mistress Y'shtola has been tending to Mistress Alizé in your absence, and I am pleased to report that she has regained consciousness. I imagine you have many questions, especially given your recent encounter with the Warriors of Darkness. I know I do. Come, let me show you to her room. Do not worry, her condition is much improved. She is a resilient one, much like her brother.
Alizé, how are you feeling?
Well enough, brother. Thanks to the kindness of our hosts. They told me you had departed for Zelf Atoll while I was still abed. I slept much better knowing that. Thank you.
I take it your mission was a success.
As if we needed any further confirmation that they are in league with the Ascians. But to save another world? I think not.
I too thought his story fanciful at first. But it is possible there may be a kernel of truth in all of this. At the very least, none of his claims contradict the word's account.
You were following these people, Alizé. Why?
During my travels, I had oft enjoyed tales of the Scions and their exploits. But after a time, I began to hear whispers of a gifted and theretofore unknown band of adventurers. Adventurers who had supposedly sworn to travel the realm slaying primals in the Scion's stead.
The Warriors of Darkness. And in the course of investigating these rumors, you stumbled upon the Ascians' involvement.
Yes, exactly.
Forgive me, but if these Warriors of Darkness mean to bring about another calamity, to what end do they hunt primals?
To prompt an escalation. To deepen the beast tribe's feelings of helplessness and despair, and thereby drive them to summon ever more powerful gods. And lest we forget, these events do not occur in isolation. With their patron deities being slain left and right, the news of man's victory over Nidhogg must surely have sown panic in the minds of the beastmen. 'Tis no wonder they wish to defend themselves.
Power answered with greater power. Death with more death. A vicious cycle fueled by fear and hatred. I know it's like all too well.
Indeed. The Ascians sow discord and desperation, and the Warriors of Darkness reap the harvest. And so it continues. Yet that is not the extent of their ambitions. The Ascian himself observed that once the powerless realize that the old gods have failed them, they will have little recourse but to look to a new one.
We cannot let that happen.
It should come as no surprise, but Alizé and I have uncovered evidence that the Ascians have been manipulating certain parties to ensure that a constant stream of crystals flows into the hands of the beast tribes. If we sever these supply lines, we should at least be able to slow the escalation.
Agreed. Kral and I shall journey to Zelfatol and learn what we can of the Ixal's source.
Then I, for my part, pledge to lead a similar investigation into the origin of the Nath supply.
Sir Emmerich?
As a member of the Eorzean Alliance, Ishgard is honor-bound to play an active role in maintaining the security of the realm. You might also say that I have some personal motivation, given the Ascians' dealings with my father. However, I make no secret of the fact that my knowledge of primal beings is scant at best. As such, I should be most grateful if one of your order were to assist me.
Allow me, Sir Emmerich. I have dealt with the Nath before.
Let us consult with Orianja then. Given his dedication to the study of primal beings, I should be surprised if he could not tell us something of value.
Allow me to accompany you, brother. And before you think to refuse, know that I am not the girl I once was. I shall not be a burden. You have my word.
But Alize, you... You are more than welcome. After all, it was you who set us upon this path.
Wait a minute! I'm afraid I can't allow you to leave just yet. Not until you try on the new outfit I prepared for you.
Alright, let's speak to Alpha No. Would I be right in assuming that you have not spoken with my sister since one of the memorial services, was it? By the 12, it seems a lifetime ago. I should like to think we have both grown since then. My apologies for keeping you waiting. Right then, shall we be off? Tataru never ceases to impress, though for a moment I feared she might furnish you with an identical outfit. Praise the 12, she did not. Mother and father were rather too fond of making us wear matching clothes. Do you remember that time at the studium when that girl of yours crept up behind me in the hall and whispered, "Sister, please, she was not my... Can we not have this conversation in front of the Warrior of Light?" So be it. Another time, perhaps. It is an honor, Prince. I realize we are barely acquainted, but having heard so much about you, it hardly feels that way. So, quick note here. This particular scene and some others further along the way, if you have completed the binding coils, these scenes will actually play out with different text. So, I've been meaning to ask about the carriage. Ah, yes, the carriage that so fortuitously arrived to spirit us away from Ul'dah after the banquet. The driver informed me that I had my sister to thank for his presence in Ul'dah. How did you know to send help? Oh, drunken brass blades are even less discreet than sober ones. Unfortunately, by the time I learned of the plot, it was too late to do anything more. Frankly, I'm still amazed Brent managed to find you. New garments aside, I must say that you seem different, more resolute than when we last met. You have the look of a woman who is ready to fight for the future of Eorzea. To the extent of my abilities, perhaps, but I have no delusions of grandeur, nor will I pretend to have found myself, or any such thing. I am here today because I would regret it if I weren't. That is all. Fair enough. Let us depart for the Waking Sands, then, and see if Urianger can be of assistance. So, it's been a while since we've been to the Waking Sands. Let's go ahead and teleport to Limsa Lominsa. And let us make our way through the Aethernet to the Arcanist Guild. Alright, let us make our way inside the building here. Into the Waking Sands. Urianger, apologies for calling upon you unannounced. Why, Master Alphino, what would that the scholar had seen fit to grant me knowledge of thy coming? What bringeth thee and thine here this day? The warriors of darkness have returned. Pray allow us to explain. I too have heard tales in recent days of primal beings rising up, only to be cast down by forces unknown. Alas, as thou didst observe, this serveth but to spur the beast tribes to pursue their goals with redoubled fervor. We have two objectives at this time: to identify and remove the source of the beast tribe's crystals, and to take direct action to prevent any further summoning rituals from reaching completion. The second is easier said than done, of course. While we were fortunate enough to learn of the Exal's plans before they came to fruition, I should be surprised if the Warriors of Darkness and the Ascians did not have similar designs elsewhere, of which we have no knowledge. Thou wert wise to come hither, for this very day did I receive tidings most troubling from across the strait of Murlthor. Ogomoro stirreth, and there are whispers that the Lord of Crags nearest his return. Mere rumors, mark thou, but in light of thine own discoveries, thou canst ill afford to turn a deaf ear to their claims. Aye, we must ascertain the truth of the matter for ourselves. Let us consult with the Maelstrom forces stationed at Camp Overlook, Prince. Thank you for your counsel, Urianger. Pray inform us should you learn aught else. I shall. If I may, brother, Urianger, is there anything else you would like to say? Alice, eh? If not, then never mind. I only ask because you are normally rather more verbose. Nothing to add? Very well. Ere we depart, I wish to make a request. The Warriors of Darkness spoke of how the Ardor had the power to break down the barriers between planes, that our worlds might be rejoined. I would ask that you research this for us. Being nowhere near as well read as you, I'm sure I wouldn't know where to begin. That said, I have heard tale of a promising tome, the Garun Oracles. Mayhap you could start there. By thy leave. Camp Overlook, was it? Very well. Alright, so let us teleport over to there. Seven hells. At this rate, I'll have to appeal to Maelstrom Command for reinforcements. Whatever it is, we don't want any. Well, fancy that. Just when my kobold problems look like coming to a head, the Scions of the Seventh Dawns turn up, itching to pitch in. Bloody brilliant timing is what it is. Right then, let's get to it. So our friendly neighbors in Ogomaro have got much more aggressive of late, just as you said. Matter of fact, our scouts spotted one sniffing about the stores just now, likely looking to make off with an armful of crystals. I'll be damned if I'm about to let that happen. Lend a hand and help us search the camp for the little bugger, would you? Alright, so apparently there is something here. Our Maelstrom friends seem notably more agitated than when we first arrived. Do you happen to know why that might be? A kobold in the camp, you say? That would appear to corroborate Orianger's information, yes. But to be so reckless as to infiltrate a Maelstrom camp and draw attention to their efforts is passing strange. Well, there will be time to think on this later. For the present, we must do everything in our power to prevent Titan summoning. And that means finding and questioning this kobold. Alright, so let us figure out where they are. Looks like they might be slightly out of camp here, actually. So let's check there first. There they are. Stay back. Away, far back. I'm not a... It's no use. Pointless, hopeless, no use. Alright, let's make our way back up here. And let's find the little guy one more time. Here it is. Please, don't hurt me. I only wish to talk. Yes, yes, just talk. Gah. This was a stupid plan. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But if I tell no one, then everyone will... Ah, he found me again. What to do, what to do, what to do? I come in peace, only to talk. Speak, say, talk. So please, please, do not hurt me. So this is our wily kobold infiltrator, is it? No wonder the soldiers were on edge. He could very well give one a bruised knee. Huzzah! We've got him. Fine work, Scions. So, little one, you thought you could sneak into my camp, did you? Plotting to steal me crystals, were you? No. I came to talk, to ask for help. But when your soldiers saw me, they drew their weapons and shouted, and I... Now, let us all take a deep breath and discuss this like civilized individuals. What is your name, child? Pikmin Gabu of the 620th Order. At least, I will be a Pikmin one day. Well met, Gabu. I'm Alphano, and this is my sister Alize. Prince, the man who found you, is our friend, and now that you know our names, we can be friends too. Now, Commander Blodin here thinks you wanted to take his crystals, Gabu, but you said you came to talk for help. Why to us, and not to your own people? What happened, Gabu? Can you tell us? No one is going to hurt you, alright? Not while we're here, I promise. The Patriarch, the Patriarch is going to summon the Great Father again, and you have to stop him. Beat him, fight him, stop him. Gabu's parents said they didn't want it, along with many others. But the Patriarch wouldn't listen. He was so angry, raging, fuming, angry. He said that if they didn't have iron in their hearts, they would serve as coke for the furnace. And then the guards took my parents and the others away, and I haven't seen any of them since. Did not want to believe it, but I have heard the furnace. Guy fashioned from the bones of beastmen, which worshippers use in their rituals, hoping to summon more powerful incarnations of their gods. By the 12th, that is sickening. No one listens to Gabu. No matter how much he cries, pleads, begs, cries. They do not listen, only talk about punishing the overdwellers and praising the Great Father. Gabu loves the Great Father, but he loves his parents too, so please, help Gabu stop the Patriarch and save his parents. Commander, I advise Maelstrom Command that Titan summoning is imminent. Should the worst come to the worst, we will require their support. Time being of the essence, we three will attempt to infiltrate the Kobold stronghold, secure their crystal, and free the prisoners. Well, if you're sure, you'll forgive me if I don't seem optimistic. We'll make ready just in case. Alright, let's speak to Alphano. I have faith that we may yet stop the ritual. We would surely have detected the associated etheric disturbance had Titan manifested already. But I cannot speak for the prisoners, 12 have mercy, that they would even contemplate sacrificing their own flesh and blood, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. Time is of the essence. We must see what else Gabu knows and formulate a plan without further delay. I heard Great Father Titan loves crystals, cherishes, covets, loves them, and if we gather enough, he will return. That is why the Patriarch told everyone to go forth and gather them. So I was thinking, if we take all the crystals away, maybe the Great Father won't come. Very good, Gabu. I was just thinking the same thing. Do you know where these crystals are stored? I know. Oh, several spots, each defended by a different order. Gabu wanted to steal them, but he was too afraid to go alone. Yes, too afraid to go alone. But together, we can take them away and hide them. Come, Gabu will lead you to the first cache. Alright then, chase that kobold. Quickly! Do you have them all? Good. Lead on, Gabu. This way! Alright, let's gather these up. Time is short. If you have the crystals, we should move on to the next cache. Did you hear me, brother? Brother! It's just that... I am quite certain that crate once bore Ishgardian's seals. Someone took great pains to remove all traces, but enough remains to make out the pattern. See for yourself. I struggle to imagine kobolds traveling to Korthus to obtain crystals, much less bothering to conceal their origins. I suspect these crystals were smuggled into Vilbrand by another party, most likely a pawn of the Asians, as Thancred speculated. I don't understand. Who are the Asians? Do they worship Great Father Titan too? Never you mind about that. As Alice said, we do not have a lot of time. Can you lead us to the next cache, Gabu? Yes, of course. Gabu knows the way. The next one is the last and is very large. Very big, very huge, very large. My apologies there. Think, brother, think. They must have moved them, yes? The question is where to and why. Within Ogomoro, where they summoned Titan once before, and mean to do so again. It is the only explanation. What about Mother and Father and the others? We have to help them. And we will, Gabu. We will. Stay calm. We still have time. They have yet to call for the remaining crates, yes? If they had, they would have found the other caches empty and sounded the alarm. Nevertheless, I believe the time for stealth has passed. We must breach the navel and seize the remaining crystals. There is no other way to prevent Titan summoning. But first, give me your crystals, that I might deliver them into Commander Bloden's custody. We dare not take them into the bowels of the mountain. The crystals, Prince, if you would be so kind. Thank you. I shall deliver them to Camp Overlook for safekeeping and brief Commander Bloyden of the situation. Pray go on ahead. As I recall, there is an aetheryte within Olgamoro mines that should deliver you to the navel. Gabu doubtless knows the way. Wait for me there. I shall rejoin you anon. Strange. I would have thought you eager to remain in the thick of the action. But if this is what you would prefer, then Godspeed, brother. This way, this way. Alright, here is the destination point. Ah, I take it this is the aetheryte we seek. Right then. As soon as Alphano arrives, we go. I trust you're feeling suitably heroic, Prince. There's no telling what sort of resistance we'll face in there.
Quickly, you clods, briskly, swiftly, quickly, I will not suffer any further delays.
Lay down your arms and surrender. We have your crystals. There will be no summoning this day.
Overdwellers here? But how did you... Where are my parents, Patriarch? Where are they?
Mother? Father? Coke for the furnace. You monster, how could you?
We are but servants of the Lord of Crags. We are his, that he may drink of our blood and partake of our flesh, that he might draw upon the strength of his children and defend them from the tyranny of the Overdwellers.
No, Elisei, not yet. I understand, Patriarch. I do. Your fear, your anger, your hate. You would do anything to protect your people, anything to deliver them from despair, whatever it takes to ensure that those who threaten you can never do so again. But in your single-minded pursuit of this objective, you have brought suffering on your own kith and kin. You have sacrificed the lives of the very people you sought to protect. But it need not be this way, Patriarch. Renounce this bloody course, cease your attempts to summon your god, and work with us, together, to build a lasting peace.
Another peace to be abandoned at the Overdweller's convenience. Oathbreakers, all of you! Liars, betrayers, oathbreakers! You take and you take and you take, and when you've had your fill, you sue for peace. You promise that this time, that this is the last, until you grow hungry again. And when we dare to defend ourselves, you declare that this beast tribe cannot be suffered to live, that our god drains the land of Aether, and brings not but suffering, death, destruction, suffering upon us all. I will hear no more lies from you and yours, Overdweller. You ruined your own lands. You'll not ruin ours. I said I'd come for you, and I did. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Say something, please, please. Please! Wake up, 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 wake up! Wake up! Seven hells! I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Alphinoa, leave him to me. We must away. Alright, and so with that, once again, Titan has been summoned, and we are going to have to deal with him on the next episode. Thank you for joining me today. This is Prince Brightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.